What am I evolving into? What is my purpose? I must know! Tell me!
DCAU, the best cinematic universe of all time. From Batman to Superman to Batman Forever, Justice League Unlimited, and of course, for some reason, Static Shock. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Static Shock, but we didn't get a Green Lantern or a Flash or even a Wonder Woman show.
One of these things is not like the others.
Now, all of these shows are great in their own way, but my absolute favorite of all is Justice League Unlimited. I would actually go so far as to say that Lex Luthor from Justice League Unlimited might be my favorite character of all time. But Amazo is also a pretty great character in this show, and I was very shocked to find that there's not one single power scaling video about him. Okay, I guess there's a few TikToks and YouTube shorts, but does anybody actually care about those? Now, I'm sure most of you already know that the cartoon versions of the DC heroes are much weaker. Up to the point that a lot of Superman fans refer to DCAU Superman as Super Wimp or Super Wuss. And when you think about all the stuff that can take him out, especially in Justice League Season 1, yeah, he deserves that title. I've already scaled this guy in my All Versions of Superman vs. All Versions of Goku Part 1 video. But thanks to the movie Justice League vs. the Fatal 5, this guy's scaling has gotten a lot better. He chased a bomb from Earth to the sun. People have calculated his speed to be at over 5 billion miles per hour. This makes him sub-relativistic, which is just above massively hypersonic plus. And he also took the blast of that star-destroying bomb at point-blank range, which proves he has star-level durability. Now you may be a little confused as to why I'm bringing any of this up. I mean, this video is about DCAU Amazo, not DCAU Superman. Well, that's because Amazo has all of Superman's powers, along with all of the powers of the entire Justice League, and a few other powers on top of that as well. So just Amazo in his base form not only has the speed of Superman, but the speed of the Flash on top of that. Remember when the Flash was running around the Earth over and over and over again, until he finally reached the speed of light? Well, Amazo can do that. Now that bomb Superman tanked that was designed to destroy the sun apparently had the full power of a Green Lantern ring, and Amazo copied the Green Lantern ring, so he should have like twice the durability of Superman, and also enough destructive power to destroy a star. He even copied Hawkgirl's mace, which has the ability to disrupt magic. He also has all of Martian Manhunter's many different powers, including but not limited to mind reading, shape-shifting, intangibility, and of course the weird blue force field that only blocked one laser shot and that's it? Seriously, what's up with this scene? Amazo has gotten all of these abilities through one of the most broken hacks of all time, the power to copy other people's abilities just by looking at them. Yep, he has the same power as the main character from Heroes, and also the same power as the main character from that terrible game, Infamous Second Son. Any character in any series who has the power to copy others' abilities is always one of the most powerful characters in their verse. Now this power does have one weakness. It's a package deal. You won't only get your opponent's powers, but their weaknesses as well. But if Amazo wasn't overpowered enough already, in his second appearance he was able to rid himself of any weaknesses he had. So yep, kryptonite and red sun radiation may be useful against Superman, but not Amazo. Much like Frieza, Amazo gets himself a new golden form. He goes off into space, and he copies so many new abilities that the entire Justice League doesn't stand a chance against him. The first thing he does is wipe out the entire Green Lantern Corps of Oa. Yep, an entire planet of Starbusters was little more than a mild inconvenience for him. Now granted, he didn't exactly take on all of them at once, just about a dozen of them. But still, that's like star level times 12. Now some of you may doubt that the Green Lantern shields have star level durability. I mean, after all, that bomb had the entire power of a Green Lantern ring, so that would mean they only have star level durability if they use the entire power of their ring all at once. Now that is a good point until you read the tie-in Justice League Unlimited comics. In the comics, Green Lantern John was able to block a beam of pure solar energy that had the entire energy output of a star. So yes, the Green Lanterns in DCAU do have star-level durability. Now Golden Amazo didn't actually destroy Oa, he just teleported it to a different dimension. Now personally speaking, I think it's way more impressive to teleport an entire planet to a different dimension than just destroying it. Goku has blown up planets plenty of times, but he's never teleported one, and this was a casual feat for Amazo. He could have gone around, but he teleported it because, well, it was simply in his way. Now, we don't exactly know where Oa is in the DCAU, but it has to be at least a few light years away from Earth, and Amazo flew from where Oa was to Earth in a very short amount of time. Now, unfortunately, we don't know the distance or how long it exactly took him to get to Earth, so unfortunately, I can't give you the exact speed of Amazo, because the formula for speed is distance divided by time, and I lack exact measurements for both, but I'm just gonna speculate that he's massively faster than light. Amazo got hit by a cannon that was designed to alter his programming, and according to himself it would have worked a month ago, but he was no longer made of nanotech. He transcended that limitation. Yeah, that was a weakness he was born with. He didn't copy it from someone else, and he was still able to remove it. But now we get into Golden Amazo's best statements. The Atom shrinks himself and Lex Luthor down to the subatomic level, but Amazo is still able to find them, and according to himself, no universe, no matter how big or small, is denied to me. But Amazo's greatest statement of all is when he says to Lex Luthor, "Then why do you go on? Why does anyone go on? Why don't I just destroy you and everything else right now? All it would take is a single thought." Now, Amazo is an android, so he says things literally. So when he says he can destroy everything with a single thought, I think when he says everything, he means everything. And when he says with a single thought, I think he means that literally. So yeah, this guy is a casual universe buster. Now, I understand that there's a lot of people who say statements don't equal feats. But the thing is, Amazo has absolutely no reason to lie. And when we get to Amazo 2, you'll see that this statement was meant to be taken literally. Now, before we get into the Justice League Unlimited comic version of Amazo, I want to give a shout out to my boy WebCamParrot's video about the original comic book version of Amazo. It's a pretty good video and he does bring up a lot of good points, but I do disagree with him when he says that Amazo from the comics is stronger than the one from the DCAU. Yes, he does have the power of the Silver Age Justice League and the post-crisis Justice League. He even copied the powers of Our Man. All of this stuff is certainly well above anything Amazo from DCAU could do. I mean, the last time we see Amazo, he fails to deal with a magically amped Solomon Grundy. He leaves to learn how to deal with this, and we never see him again. Now, obviously, this was done by the writers to get rid of Amazo. I mean, they really can't have him around just to fix, you know, every single problem. But it's still a clear limitation for Amazo. He has copied every single power he has seen up to this point. But Chaos Magic was the first thing he couldn't copy. But in the Justice League Unlimited spin-off comic, they continue his story. Now, maybe WebCamParrot didn't read this comic, or maybe I misunderstood his video, or maybe he just didn't do a good job at explaining things. So what did Amazo do after leaving Earth? Well, he traveled to a planet that is countless light years away, and the natives of that planet fired missiles at him that had the power to wipe out an entire solar system. Amazo, of course, just casually blinked them out of existence. He ends up finding a magic doorway that leads to a place known as the Mirror Room. It's a room that, is full of mirrors, but each of the mirrors show a different universe. Amazo accidentally affected the entire multiverse, causing heroes from other universes to appear in his own. And on top of that, all of time and space in the multiverse starts falling apart. So yeah, without even trying, this guy is already at multiverse level. But the one who tricked Amazo into doing this was Amazo 2, a version of himself who easily one-shots him. This version of Amazo went from planet to planet, killing everyone after he copied all he could learn. Eventually, he destroyed the planet of Apocalypse along with Darkseid, absorbed the anti-life equation, and wiped out his entire universe. As far as I'm aware, there has not been a single version of Amazo that successfully destroyed an entire universe. Sure, a lot of them had the power to do so, but none of them actually did it. And I also believe there's never been a version of Amazo that absorbed the entire anti-life equation. Now, after Amazo 2 wiped out Amazo, he proceeded to destroy the entire multiverse. So does this make him Multiversal Plus? No, it doesn't, because that's an extreme lowball. He's actually even higher than that, because he even destroyed the source of the DCAU multiverse. As Martian Manhunter describes it, it's a place that transcends space and time. The author himself confirmed that Amazo 2 destroyed everything. Amazo 2 was described as the living embodiment of the anti-life equation. So you could easily make the argument that Amazo 2 is extra-dimensional. Okay, so Amazo 2 is pretty impressive, but I'm sure a lot of you have counter-arguments as to how certain comic book versions of Amazo are even more powerful than him. Well, this is not a video about Amazo 2. It's a video about Amazo. Remember how I power scaled DCAU Superman at the start of this video? And the only reason I did that was because, well, Amazo copied all of his powers. Well, Amazo comes back after being dead, and after the multiverse was destroyed, he copies all of the evil Amazo's powers and one-shots him. So yeah, Amazo was killed by someone infinitely more powerful than him. Then all of time and space was destroyed throughout the entire multiverse, along with the dimensions that exist above time and space. So he was like double dead. The being who destroyed him was literally the living embodiment of the anti-life equation. So that arguably makes him triple dead, and he still was able to come back to life, evolve past his limitations, and one-shot a being who was infinitely above him. He then reassembles his counterpart he just destroyed, and goes on a journey with him throughout the multiverse. Call me when comic book Amazo can do something like that. Okay, well technically this is comic book Amazo, but you guys know what I mean. Let's just do a quick little recap of everything Amazo can do. He can copy pretty much any ability just by looking at his opponent. This of course means he has tons and tons of different powers, like 6 or something. He at the very least has high multiversal plus attack potency, if we lowball him. But he's more than likely extra-dimensional. I mean, if you believe that Amazo 2 is extra-dimensional, well, Amazo one-shot him. He also arguably has high godly regeneration. I mean, not only was he evaporated, but the entire multiverse along with the concept of time and higher dimensions were also destroyed. Or maybe he doesn't even have low godly regeneration because, well, he didn't regenerate his soul, because he doesn't have one. Power scaling is pretty subjective, so decide whatever you want. I'm completely entitled to my opinion and you're entitled to yours. Amazo can also evolve and adapt to any limitation or weakness he might have. Oh no, I'm weak to kryptonite. Haha, never mind, I'm not anymore. Oh no, I'm made of nanotech so people can reprogram me. Haha, never mind, I'm not made of nanotech anymore. Oh no, I can't copy chaos magic. Haha, never mind, I just copied an alternate version of me who absorbed the entire anti-life equation. The only limitation we ever see him not overcome is the ability to copy Batman's fighting skill. But that was during his first appearance, so he more than likely got rid of that limitation. And lastly, the most amazing thing about Amazo is that he can copy the powers and abilities of someone infinitely more powerful than him and go even further beyond. We also haven't really seen Amazo that many times. He was only in like 4 episodes and a few comic issues. But the very little we got of him could prove that he's the strongest cartoon character ever. Please tell me in the comments section who you think might be a more powerful cartoon character. Because if this video does really well, I might make a follow-up, and I'll go over your suggestions of who I should put Amazo up against. But for now, I would like to make a case as to why I think he could take on Goku and Superman. Now yes, Amazo did defeat DCAU Superman, but he's by far one of the weakest versions of Superman. There are many more powerful versions of Superman, like Silver Age Superman, Post-Crisis Superman, Rebirth Superman, Superman Prime 1 Million, Strange Visitor Superman, Cosmic Armored Superman, and of course, Milkman Superman. But let's go over Goku first. Goku has destroyed people with extremely high levels of regeneration, but none of them had regeneration on the same level as Amazo. Goku can use instant transmission to teleport to different universes, but Amazo can do that too. Goku has sent out shock waves throughout the universe that reach the Kai's realm, and he did that by accident. But Amazo was destroying the entire multiverse just by accident. Goku is arguably extra-dimensional, but so is Amazo. Amazo has never been shown to copy key techniques, but considering everything else he copied, he could probably do so. Oh god, he might even be able to copy the Super Saiyan transformations and gain their multipliers. Silver Age Superman can just make up new powers to use, but Amazo can just immediately copy them. Silver Age Superman was equal to Golden Age Superman, and Golden Age Superman got stronger and was equal to Post-Crisis Superman. Rebirth Superman is a combination of all 3 of them, and also New 52, but who cares about him? If you've seen Death Battle's latest Goku vs Superman, you would know that Superman survived a universal level attack, but the DC universe is 1.62 vigintillion times times bigger than our own. That is a pretty big number, but it's not as big as infinity, and Amazo one-shot a guy who destroyed infinite universes. As for that time Superman lifted infinite pages, that was actually Superman after traveling through a boom tube. At least that's what some fans call him. You see, boom tubes can adjust your size to where you're going, so if you're transported to somewhere that's outerversal, well, now your mass is also outerversal. Amazo can't defeat Superman if he does this, but Superman also can't defeat Amazo because, well, they both exist on completely different planes of existence. It would be kind of like you trying to smush an atom, but on a much, much greater scale. But when you consider the fact that Amazo beat a guy who was infinitely more powerful than him, if not extrally dimensional, then giving him enough time to copy other abilities, he should be able to get onto this level. Now, just because Amazo can copy the powers and abilities of someone who's an extra dimension above him, it doesn't mean he can copy the powers and abilities of someone who's infinitely dimensional or outerversal. Unless, of course, we assume that the source Amazo 2 destroyed was on the same level as the source from DC Comics. Then yeah, Amazo should be able to just look at Cosmic Armored Superman or Milkman Superman and copy their powers. Now, I want to make it clear, I'm not saying that Amazo can absolutely take down both Goku and Superman. I'm just saying when you look at everything this guy can do, we really don't know the limits of his powers. Keep in mind, this guy is canonically only a few months to a few years old. Even he doesn't know what he's fully capable of. After all, he barely scratched the surface of what he can do. I just do power scaling videos for fun, so power scale him however you want with the information I have provided in this video. I'm also pretty biased towards Amazo because he's a robot like me.